Hello, everybody. It's Stephen and Walter here for this week's episode of So Chatty, episode 41 for December the 31st, 2021, last day of the year. Happy New Year to everybody, and hopefully 2022 is going to be a lot better than what we've gone through the last 2 years.
So far, we're not off to a good start.
No, we're not off to a good start, but we're not going to discuss that now.
Well, I forgot something really major happened today, and I just saw it on the
What's
news.
that?
Betty White passed away.
She did. She was just turning 100.
Yeah, they were going to have a big celebration for her. January 17th was her 100th birthday. And I didn't see any details as to what happened or whatever, but today she just passed away.
Well, that's too bad. Everybody loves Betty White. I didn't even realize she was 100. I knew she was up there, but I didn't know she was that close. Well, that's too bad. She didn't make it to her 100th birthday for it. So, well, that's a cheery thought right off the bat.
It's really bad because I had heard that said she was feeling fine and everything else. So,
well, guess they got that wrong. So anyways, well, R.I.P. Betty White. Because who didn't love Betty White?
Yeah,
I know. Everybody loved Betty White.
Actress.
Yeah. Well, that's a sad note. So let's move on to something else, shall we? Because that's not what today was about. But leave it to Walter to bring up breaking news. Should have had a little thing for it. Breaking news. Betty White. Dead. Okay, let's move on. What are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to talk about something I thought about when we did Christmas. And Walter, as you know, if you saw my vlog and the Idiot Quilter episode this past week, he went to town on buying me fabrics. And many of those fabrics that he got me came from the States. Now, I'm the first one to say that, yes, the States have a great selection, but the problem is we're Canadians. And a lot of Americans, I'm pretty sure, don't understand. And no matter how many times we tell them this, because I have brought this up before, do not understand how complicated and expensive it can be to get something from the States, even from their most major of online fabric companies. And I'm talking places like Missouri Star Quilt, the Fat Quarter Shop, Fabric.com, the Quilt Show, these kind of things. Now, there are a lot of reasons why it does not pay for us as Canadians to order from the Americans. The problem is here in Canada, and if you've also been watching my Idiot Quilter episodes, every week I review another Canadian online quilt store. And yeah, the selection is pretty much the same. With the American stores, there seems to be such a wider selection. Now, yeah, okay, that's probably because the States have 10 times the population of Canada. So that means they've got 10 times the buying power, and all that kind of thing than we do in this country. And yes, that's definitely a factor in it. But nevertheless, I mean, I would love to be able to buy from these major stores, but I've run into problems. And we're going to discuss some of those problems and some new revelations that are more positive about these places as well. And a lot of this is based on what Walter discovered when he was ordering online for me for Christmas. So he's going to probably take the majority of the conversation today. I bet you can't wait. You're dying to hear Walter talk because then you don't have to listen to me. I know. Save it now. Don't give me lip service. No. Okay, we're going to start right off the bat with the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Everybody knows the Missouri Star Quilt Company. They are huge. They have a whole town that's nothing but dedicated to selling fabric. They brought life back into Hamilton, Missouri when they got their first store, and since then they basically have the whole town. And it's a destination spot for all quilters. It's on every quilter's bucket list to at least once in their life get to Missouri Star Quilt. And I'm one of those people. I would love to be able to go there, and maybe someday when all this crap in our world is cleaned up, maybe I will get there. And I'll certainly take a wad of money with me as well. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. But in the meantime, they do have a very extensive website, and you can order just about anything from it. But, well, tell me about your experience with Missouri Star
let's
Quilt.
just start back to, I wanted to buy you some gifts for Christmas, and I didn't really know what to get you because you always get stuff, whatever stuff you need anyway, right? So I started looking at pre-cuts for fabric because I know you use a lot of pre-cuts for your quilting and that. And I wanted to get something more unique or something like that. So I started looking around at the Canadian shops and everything else, all the known ones that we have and that, and started looking at what they had for pre-cuts. And I found the selection to be really lacking. You know, there wasn't really anything kind of interesting or unique that I could get that I would sort of thought, wow, I'm going to get that, right? So I sort of went I went on Black Friday to see if I got any Black Friday deals, but the Missouri Star Quilt Company, they didn't really have any Black Friday deals. They just threw a couple of extra items into the box type of thing, which were pretty much minor, right? But I started looking around at their selection of jelly rolls, and for Missouri, I just went mainly with jelly rolls. And I looked at their prices and I compared them to Canadian prices, and they were about the same as what we pay for them in Canadian, maybe a little less money, depending on what you were purchasing. But the selection was wonderful. I had like lots of different ones to choose from and everything else. So I selected a few that were on the Missouri Star quilt, a few that I knew were ones that we could not get here. Or seemed to be difficult to get here, and ones that I sort of liked the colors of, and I kind of figured that Steve sort of would like the colors of them as well. So I selected a few of these and purchased them, and I was apprehensive because I had ordered things in the past from Missouri Star, and then they would ship at USPS, and it would take forever to come to Canada. So I thought, well, I'll order them. It's a month in advance. If it takes me a month to get it, well, hopefully I'll get it before Christmas. I was very surprised. I got my order within 3 days from the time I ordered.
Which is miraculous, because a year or so ago, we had both ordered things from them, and they took the slow boat from China to get to us. In fact, it was so bad that I actually wrote to Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I told them what my concerns were. And at the time, they said they understood, they knew, they were working on it, and they were trying to figure out a better method to get things to Canada. Now, quite frankly, I thought that was lip service at the time. However,
but they have obviously changed something into making it faster for shipping. And what I have since found out is the one big stumbling block to get a product to Canada is to have it to go through Canadian customs, and Canadian customs can be quite slow. If somebody sends it through USPS, which is United States Postal Service, to our Canadian Postal Service, and it ends up going through Canadian customs through the Postal Service, it can take weeks, literally, before it gets through to us in Canada. And then on top of it, we end up having to pay postal duties and taxes through the post office.
So the bargain you may be getting on the States, even when you consider the exchange rate, the difference in between the Canadian dollar and the American dollar, it still may not be worth your while to order from these places in the States.
Even if you're getting a really good deal on something, it may not work out in your favor. Now, what I did find out when I ordered from Missouri Star is that I got a decent price on the jelly rolls. They did charge me $20 US for shipping, which was fine. I worked that out in the prices. It was still a good deal.
So it was a flat rate.
It was a flat rate. It didn't matter what you ordered. It was flat rate.
Well, that's not bad. $20 US is about $25 Canadian.
Yeah.
$24.50, something like that. Maybe $23.50.
Well, it's more like 30.
Is it more like 30 now?
Yeah, well, it's $1.25 for $1.30 almost for each Canadian dollar. So $10 is $13. So $20 would be $26.
Okay, but that's not 30.
No, okay, fine.
Right.
So anyway,
but if it's flat rate and you're putting in a big order,
Yeah.
That's okay. I can
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
that.
So anyway, I mean, I was ordering something substantial and stuff like that. So that was fine. But then they had, I noticed a taxes charge on it. So I was trying to figure out if that was like US taxes or whatever, right? That was about, I think mine was about $28 or something, right? But I didn't really question it. And I thought, okay, fine. But then I was sort of expecting to have to pay duties when it came across the border again. And it didn't. All of a sudden, they shipped it through FedEx. And 3 days after they shipped it, FedEx came to our door and I didn't have to pay any duties or anything. And I found what Missouri Star did, and I read their fine print, is that for Canadian orders, they automatically add the duty and taxes that are owed in for the Canadian duties. So that taxation amount that was on there was actually the duties that were for Canadians, and they must have a deal with FedEx that is able to bypass the or not bypass, or they must have a system where they can send things across the border more easily.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't have to pay anything extra. So it was just the $20 for shipping plus the 28 or whatever dollars for duties and taxes. And that was it. I didn't have to pay anything extra. And in that case, it actually made it relatively economical to buy from them.
And it came, how long did it take?
3 days.
Yeah. So that's pretty damn good. So I have changed my opinion about ordering stuff from Missouri Star Quilt because I stopped. Yeah, mainly because of what I just mentioned at the beginning of this.
And the other thing is a lot of times the fabrics, if you just bought yardage from them or something, it really, when you translate it over to Canadian funds, if it happens to be an item that we can still get in Canada, it's really not worth it. Because by the time you do add the shipping and the duties and everything, there isn't really any benefit for you to order from them, unless it's a specific fabric that you're looking for that you can't get here, right?
Yeah.
That might be worth it. Or they have a really great sale on. Yeah. Now at Black Friday, they didn't really have a great sale on. They had the same prices they had for everything. They just threw a couple of little extra things in, like they put in a little what do you call that?
They had a template.
A template and what do you call it with the 5-inch square?
A charm pack.
Charm pack. They threw that in with the order, but the rest of it wasn't really. I wouldn't have run out and bought the stuff just to get those 2 items type of thing.
Well,
right?
no. But did you even know you were going to get those 2 items?
Yes, I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Because the last time I got anything from them, they threw in a freebie on it. I think it was a charm pack too, and I didn't realize that was coming with it. In fact, I thought they made a mistake because it was on my bill, but it showed it was free.
Yeah.
Didn't show any charge for it. And
no, yeah,
so,
I did know that was coming. So
and I think they do that with all, whether it's sales items or what it is. I think they do that with all orders that are over, I think, a certain amount. I think it's over
they didn't do it with my
$50
other order, but anyway.
Oh, they didn't do it with your other.
Anyway, so later on in the month in December, I ordered. They had a big sale on, and it was actually a really good sale. It was on wide back fabric, right? And and it was a lot cheaper than what we can get it in Canada, and they had more patterns to choose from than what we can get in Canada. So I selected 6 fabrics and ordered 3 meters of each of those fabrics, which is quite a bit. And still, they only charged me $20 for shipping. Now, in that order, it did take them a week to process the order, right, at their location. But once they got it shipped out, 3 days later, I got the package.
So they've definitely improved. Now, just when we're talking about shipping, one of the things, though, that does brown me off with most U.S. companies, because this is pretty much standard, it's just not Missouri Star Quilt, but here, free shipping. No, not for us. It says free standard domestic shipping, meaning anywhere in the United States.
I think they often exclude Alaska and Hawaii.
Now they do, yeah. They usually say it has to be the continental USA. But there is a little caveat here. It says $5 off all other methods.
Mm.
So I don't know if that means then, since they were charging you 20, if you were to order today, you'd get it for 15 as a special. I don't know. It might.
Unless you're saying it's free domestic shipping, free standard domestic shipping. If you got expedited
Oh, that
domestic
could be
shipping,
what
it's
that is.
$5 off.
Yeah, that might be it.
Right. So, whereas international shipping is different,
Yeah.
or Canadian shipping.
Now
is
here's
different.
another one. Missouri Star Quilt always has these daily deals all the time. Every day they have something else on. But today's is kind of intriguing. Today's quilter's deal, it says at the top of their screen, is 100% off. Limit of one customer at this price. Limited quantities available at this price. Get it before it's gone. But what is it? Is it on here? Come back here. I don't know if that lists or is it down here. Related quilting products. Today, quilting fabrics only. I don't know. Is this the ones that are daily deals? This is what I find this week only specials. I do find their website confusing when they put things like this up because I don't really know where this goes. It doesn't tell me.
Yeah.
Today's a deal applies automatically. Well, is this the deal? Free shipping? Yeah, up here, but today's quilter's deal. So what's today's quilter's deal? So I click on daily deal and guess where it's going to take me? Right back to what you're looking at right now. I don't understand what it is. What is the daily deal?
Unless it's free shipping.
Well, that's what I think it might be.
Yeah.
And here's something interesting. If you're an international shopper, you won't get free shipping, but you'll get $5 discount at checkout.
So basically, that's what the deal is.
That's what the deal is today. It can be misleading the way they word things on here. I have found that with them. But overall, after your experience with it, I think I will give them another go if I see something that I want.
Something that I really want, and I know I can't get it in Canada or easily in Canada, I'd consider ordering from them again. Like I said, I bought that backing fabric, and that was sort of like on a whim because they suddenly put this thing up and they had this sale on, and the prices were really phenomenal compared to what we would have to pay here in Canada. So.
Well, they often do have really good deals, but again, you got to know your prices.
Well, actually, the other thing is that I saw the deal when they posted it after midnight, the day before it was like on a Thursday night, and their deal was on the Friday.
Oh,
right. So I bought the stuff at 12:30 in the morning.
He's a nighthawk
because I had a really great selection, and then by the next day, all the good stuff was gone.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's something to keep in mind too. If you're a nighthawk, you might want to shop at midnight on some days. So one thing about Missouri Star Quilt is they do have a tremendous selection in everything that they sell. So yeah. So I will try them again. Okay, let's move on to the next one that we want to talk about. Again, this Walter did some ordering. I have never ordered from Fat Quarter Shop, and I'll tell you why after Walter talks about it a little bit now. And I know the Fat Quarter Shop is extremely popular. Everybody knows the Fat Quarter Shop because they have a YouTube channel and the whole bit. So what was your experience here? Because I know it's a little different.
Okay, with them, I ordered mainly fat quarters. I mean, they do sell other things, but they had some good prices on the fat quarters, and their prices weren't really any much different on Black Friday as on other days, but they gave you an additional 20% off the full order.
An additional 20%.
Yeah.
So
they had some good prices on some of the fat quarter bundles that I bought. They had some sort of specials on Black Friday where there was like a fat quarter bundle for of 12 fat quarters for $25 US, which were good. So I bought a few of those, and then I bought some other ones that I knew were ones that would be difficult to get here. They were a good price compared to Canadian prices. And even if I did the conversion from US to Canadian dollars, and then I got the additional 20% off, and I was able to I bought enough stuff where I got free shipping to Canada. right?
Yeah.
But they ship through USPS, which is usually not too big of a problem. But USPS is very slow at shipping through the United States it gets to our Canadian border. And then when it gets to our Canadian border, well, there's a process, I guess, that goes through in the US to go to the Canadian border for processing. And there was a big delay, or my bundle ended up shipping relatively quickly. After about 3 days after the Black Friday sale, the bundles got shipped out. But it ended up in Chicago to be processed to the Canadian border within a couple of days. And it sat in Chicago for a week.
Okay, so that brings up another interesting thing for us in the area we live in. We live outside of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And anything that we order from the States, oftentimes it goes to Chicago if it goes through the U.S. Postal Service, and it gets stalled in Chicago. I guess Chicago is probably a very big hub for sorting out mail and things like that, and possibly for even international mail. And then it comes to our country. Well, the problem for us is we have one of those kind of distribution centers as well in our postal service, and it's located in Mississauga, which is on the west end of Toronto. We're on the east side of Toronto. And if it goes there, well, we like to call Mississauga the black hole of Mississauga, because anything that gets sent there through the Canadian Postal Service sits there forever. So you have a compound on here. It sits in Chicago, and then it sits in Mississauga. So that adds a lot. Now, I'm not talking sitting there for a day or even 2 days. There have been times when stuff has hit Mississauga and has sat there for over a week. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe they're all going through it and feeling it. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, so it sat in Chicago for about a week, and then it sat in Detroit or Michigan, or no, not Michigan. It sat in Windsor, or it said Canadian Border Services, Detroit. That's what it said, and it sat there for a week. And then it ended up in Mississauga and sat there for a few more days before it got shipped to me. And then I had to pay a lot of duty, right? I had to pay, I ordered an equivalent amount from the Fat Quarter Shop as I did from Missouri Star. Missouri Star charged me about $28 or $27 US for duties, right? And in Canada, I had to pay $56 from the Fat Quarter Shop for duties.
Now, I'm going to say something negative about the Fat Quarter Shop. I already said I have never ordered anything from them, but I'll tell you why. I've looked at their shipping. I've looked at what they have to offer. I've looked at their prices. All of those things combined said to me it's not worth getting from them. Also, I don't have a lot of faith in their ability to get out their shipments in a timely fashion. Why do I say that? To be honest, and this is probably, I'm probably shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but the person who heads up the Fat Quarter Shop does not instill in me a lot of confidence in her. To be quite honest, and I know I'm going to get hate mail about this, so just remember I have a delete key. She impresses me as a bit of an airhead. Now, I'm sure she's probably not an airhead because she is running a very successful company. But it doesn't inspire me a great deal of faith in them. And what you said that you went through with getting from them, what you ordered and everything that was involved, it again says to me they're not on the ball, not like Missouri Star Quilt. Now, maybe
it seemed like a really great deal. I mean, they had 20% off, but really basically whatever I got 20% off of, I ended up having to pay in duties again.
So what I was going to say, though, is you can't compare the Fat Quarter Shop to Missouri Star Quilt Company. And here is why I don't have faith in the Fat Quarter Shop, given what I've already said. When I complained about the shipping method with Missouri Star Quilt, they actually fixed it. Mm-hmm. They actually took what I said seriously. I didn't know they were going to. In fact, I expected them not to. Because that's usually how a lot of companies do. They pay you lip service and that's it. They do nothing more about it. Fat Quarter Shop doesn't seem to care. So I would say they're very American centric, which means they're not looking beyond their own borders. And that's not unusual with many American companies. Well, I suppose if you're making the big bucks and you've got a huge, buying public out there, why do you need to care about anybody outside of your borders? Okay, I can kind of get that as well. But that suggests an attitude. And I'm all about attitude because, they might be a big store, but they're not the only store. So after what you've said, that you've kind of gone through in getting this order, unlike Missouri Star Quilt, I am not willing to give the Fat Quarter Shop an opportunity unless there was something that only they had. And I don't think that is true. And also, so what did you figure out that you paid in Canadian dollars per fat quarter?
Well, it depended on what I got. There were 3 bundles I bought that were would have only been about $2.50 a fat quarter, which is actually
That's really good. That's $2.50
Canadian.
Because I'm looking up here at these fat quarter ones I have up on the screen, and they're saying $34.95 per bundle. Now that's not a sale price; that's their regular price.
Right.
And it says there's 10 fat quarters in that, so that makes them $3.49. So let's say $3.50 a fat quarter, American. Well, that's not a deal for Canadian. The thing that is interesting though is I wouldn't have this selection in Canada. Again, see, they have all these box sets. They're selling Art Gallery Fabrics, that's AGF. I would not have this, at least so far in my research on Canadian stores online. I haven't found this kind of
Now the example that I told you about was for 3 bundles that I got. Though there was 2 bundles of Tim Holtz fabric, and it would have been more, because I think it was 12 fat quarters for $34 US. So that's more like the price that we would pay for a fat quarter.
Yeah.
Mind you, I got 20% off of those amounts. So, and I did get $56 off in the total order, but but basically I had to pay about $40 back for well, no, actually I didn't really have to do that. I ended up having to pay 40 US for duties and shipping, right? Whereas at Missouri Star only had to pay 28, so I only had to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, so you see, Missouri Star Quilt has got a better deal with whoever they deal with for their shipping. How they do that, I don't know. Maybe it's because they sell so much. That's why they can offer such a better deal, in volume.
I mean, overall, I got good value for the money at Fat Quarter Shop. I really did. I did not overpay. But the fact that it took so long to get to me, and I wasn't sure how long the package would be to process it. At one point in time, I wasn't sure if I would get it on time for Christmas or not. And I ordered it at the end of November. So just the fact that it takes so long to process and to ship through Canada, I would probably be reluctant to order from them again.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move into one that you deal with a lot. I have looked, but I've never ordered from fabric.com. I'm just going to throw it up here on the screen. But because they have a lot more than just quilting cottons. They have like the stuff you need for garments. So
I haven't ordered a ton from them, but it's my go-to place. One of my go-to places. If I can't find the fabric in Canada, I need something reasonably quick, I'll go to fabric.com. I usually can find what I want on the site. It's usually a reasonable price. Even if I figure out the exchange rate, they usually charge about $12 for US for shipping. And then
that's a flat rate.
Yeah. And then, but they ship through UPS. I get it fast, but I have to pay UPS duty. But actually, this last time I ordered something for you at Christmas, and the duty was actually very reasonable when I compared it to what Fat Quarter Shop charged and stuff like that. One thing I found out is if it goes through USPS, not UPS, but USPS with the fat quarter shop that Canada charges the rate. Canada charges a processing fee for duty. So there's a flat rate that Canada charges for duty, which is
See,
kind of a
I
rip
didn't
off.
know that. I never saw that before.
So I used to avoid ordering from fabric.com because of the extra duty charge when it came across the border. But actually, I might order from them not more frequently. I may end up using them more of a choice if I need something special, because I didn't think it was really unreasonable what I had to pay for duty when it came across.
Okay, so, but they're also an Amazon company.
Yeah, they are an Amazon company. And what's interesting about them, just even though I have to pay that duty when it comes across, I pay it through UPS, right? It does get to me really quick. Like if I order it from fabric.com, 2-3 days later, I get it.
Well, that's because they're an Amazon company.
Yeah.
They are Amazon.
Yeah, they are Amazon.
Basically.
They're basically a subsidiary of Amazon. It's an Amazon company, right?
That's what it says. An
yeah.
Amazon company. So that's probably why it comes through so fast, because that's what Amazon does well, is getting things out to you pretty fast.
Yeah, so it's actually good because I'm doing an apparel project or something and I'm looking around the Canadian stores and I can't find anything I want, or it's difficult. I may go on there and have a look around. They do have some good deals sometimes on there. There was a line of fabric one time that I bought somewhere else and I wanted some more of it, and I couldn't find it anywhere in a Canadian shop, so I went on fabric.com. They had a good selection of it, so I bought some from them. If you're looking for, let's say you buy a piece of fabric somewhere from a store and you need some more of it or something like that, they often have it in stock, so you can get it.
Well, they're running a sale right now. It says save up to 50% on select clearance fabrics and even more on multiple yards. So, and they have sales all the time.
Yeah.
In that one. So that's one. But I've never really ordered from them because I associate them more with garment sewing. But
no, they have tons of quilting cotton, tons and tons and tons of it, lots of selection.
So I'll have to look at that again.
They do have, their prices aren't usually too bad, but there isn't really any from what by the time you pay the duty and the shipping and everything else, most of the time you're not saving any money from buying.
So again, this is one of those spots you go to when you're looking for something that we can't get here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Okay, so the next one is another one that you use. I never use because I don't think that this one, well, I guess they have quilting cotton, but it's Mood
Fabrics, and I think they're in New York State somewhere, or New York City, I think. I've purchased some quilting fabric from them, and they offer a large selection of clothing fabric. Some of it can be pretty pricey. But I did hit a deal one time. I was looking for a stretch cotton twill, and they had a really great deal on stretch cotton twill for $7 a yard, and I ordered a fair bit of it from them, and that was actually my first order. I didn't really know, and I have since ordered from them again, and a couple of times, and they have a really great selection. They have a really good selection in fabrics that you may have a problem finding other places. And I think their prices are usually pretty reasonable. They can be a little pricey, but I don't know if they're really any worse than anywhere else, because some stuff can be real specialty fabrics. Their shipping is really quick. I think I had to, or I cannot remember. I think there was a flat fee for shipping, which was not an unreasonable amount when I ordered things. And but they also do something like what Missouri Star does. They charge you duty and taxes at the time of purchase, and it comes across the border with no problems. But it usually does take about a week to get to me.
I was just looking here to see what their Don't seem to list quilting cotton.
I don't think they have quilting cotton. I think it's mostly
It's
mostly
fabric.
apparel fabric.
Fabric.
But especially, I would imagine for the women, there's some really nice dress type materials and things like that that they can order that especially in Canada can be difficult to find.
Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is more one that I have dealt with, and this is called the Quilt Show. The Quilt Show is actually a member site, although I don't think you have to be a member to buy from their store, but they have a lot more on here. They do a couple of shows a week that are all really good. I subscribe to this website because it's actually really, really good. But I have bought from them once or twice, and for the most part, their prices are pretty good. Their selection is somewhat limited. If you take a look here, they have more like tools for quilting and notions and things, not so much on fabric. If you look here, quilting fabric, their selection, when it comes up here, taking it a bit of time, they don't have a huge selection of fabrics. That's fat quarter bundle, $140.
How many fat
I don't know,
quarters?
it doesn't say. Let's take a look at that just out of curiosity, because that seemed like a lot of money. Their prices are not bad, but they're not good. Come on. We should probably have 44 fat quarters. Well, 44 fat quarters at $140.
I don't think it's out of the way.
140.99 divided by, how many was it? 44? That's $3.20 a fat quarter American. So that's about what we would pay with the exchange in the dollar with it. So, okay, not bad. I can't remember what their shipping was like, but I don't think it was unreasonable. And there may have been, if you had over a certain amount, and they do ship to Canada, and I don't remember paying duty with what I got. Now, I think I ordered some templates or something from them. I can't remember. No, I ordered a thing for my sewing machine from them. That's a sew, what do they call it? Sew straight or something like that. It's a pad you put across your sewing machine bed for different uses and things like that. And I think I ordered something else. And at the time, I remember I waited, though. It took a while to get here. Now, they are located in California, for one thing. And so you've got all of that. So it took a couple of weeks before I got it. So they're not that speedy. But they're a little bit more than just a place I go to if I want to buy things. I go there more or less because of the programs that they have. They have full regular television productions, which you have to be a member to see them, but they're well worth that. So it's a little different type of company, but it's still American. And one thing I'll say about them, their customer service is really good. If you have a question or complaint or something like that, it's very easy to contact them and they will get back to you. Now, if you've heard of Ricky Timms, Ricky Timms is on Facebook and he is the owner and the creator, one of the owners. He and Alex Anderson own all this website and everything together. I think her husband might be involved in it as well. I forget what it was. I had a problem. I wanted to know something. Oh, I checked out. He was running a course. It was a free course, but you had to be a member of the site. And I looked at it, and it works out to about $60 a year Canadian to join it. I think for the Americans, it's $49.99 or something like that a year. I can tell you this, it's well worth the money to join this. But I had a problem on their website getting in and getting my membership. And they were supposed to get a free trial. That's what I was trying. I was throwing for a 1-week free trial. And so I wrote to Ricky Timms on Facebook because I looked him up. And he makes no bones about it that he's on Facebook. I got an answer back from him within a minute. And he apologized for the problem. He said they were switching some things over on the website, but he'd get right on it. He did. Another person contacted me. Well, I found out now it was Alex Anderson's husband who contacted me by phone. By phone. They called me by phone and had me up and running right on it. And I was really impressed that they should do that. So that's what made me convinced that I should join this. And I haven't looked back since. I'm a little hesitant to order from them only because of how long it takes to get to me. But if you're not in a rush and it's something you want and it's something you can't get anywhere else, then yeah, I would order from them again with that. The other company, which I'm sure most people have heard about, and I have dealt with them, is Spoonflower. Now, Spoonflower is a very unique company because you can buy fabric from them that's already been created, but they're a digital fabric printing company. So you can send them in a design of anything that you want printed, and you can have it printed on a wide variety of fabrics. Not only that, you can have it made into wallpaper. You can have it made into wrapping paper as well. Price-wise, it's a little bit more expensive because, well, basically, it's a one-off in a sense. Although not really, because I can go back. Anything that I've designed, I can go back in and get more of it. And I have done that. I think I pay it comes out to $17 or $18 US dollars a yard on good quality quilting cotton.
I think they've increased their prices.
They probably have. I haven't gotten anything from them for a while. Well, let's just take a quickie look here and just see what I'm talking about. We'll go into all fabric and take a look at that. I don't want this on here. Get off there. Okay, this thing is responding slow today. All right, so let's just pick something. I hate it when companies do that. Well, join this, join that. Okay, let's take a look at this one. They do have it in meters, which is something new. It used to be by the yard. I wonder if it's because they know I'm from Canada, and maybe it's putting it up there. Yeah, see, it's got Canadian prices here, so there is somehow it is reading my system and knowing.
It says ship to Canada.
Where does it say
At the top.
Oh, okay. Well, but I didn't click on that.
Mm.
So that must have been something, maybe it remembered me from the last time I was on here.
Or it's checking your IP address.
Well, that could be, whatever. But here, so say this one I want it. Now you see I can get a swatch of it if I want to see what it's like. I can get a fat quarter or multiple fat quarters. I can get as much of this as I want because they print it. It's on print on demand. And then they have 106 centimeters by 100 centimeters. So that's basically 1 meter, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird way of putting it.
It's a weird size.
Yeah, that's a weird size. But anyways, I think that probably works out to about the size of a meter of fabric, and probably, well, 106 centimeters.
100 centimeters is a meter.
Right. So 100 centimeters is a meter. Yeah. So it's a meter by with the fabric. With the fabric's probably about 40 to 42 inches. That's on here. The standard size.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this says this is pedal signature cotton. However, if I drop this down, why is this doing this? Belgian linen.
They used to have a selection.
This is how, but now they show you what it looks like. Well, they didn't used to do that last time. That's kind of nice. So I could get it in Belgian linen, and they have the prices here. I can get it in velvet, chiffon, cotton lawn, whatever that is.
It's actually a finer type of cotton.
Okay. Cotton poplin, cotton spandex, cotton canvas. See, all these different ones I can get them in.
But they're all pretty pricey.
Yeah, linen cotton canvas. Yeah, whoa, those are really pricey. Minky, modern jersey, organic. Seem to be averaging around 40 some dollars a meter. That's for all those ones. But the first one that was on here, okay, no thanks so much. This, I hate this when websites do that. It annoys me to no end. Okay, so let's go with Petal Signature Cotton, because it seems to be the cheapest, and it's probably the equivalent of, yeah, so it's $26.96. Yeah, the prices have gone up. $26.96 per meter. So this is not cheap, but the advantage of ordering from them is if you want something completely unique. Let's say you had family pictures or a picture of your pet or something like that, and you want it printed on fabric. You can do that. They have a whole system on here where you just upload the picture. You can do some fine tuning to it if you want, right on their website. And then when you're satisfied with the way it looks, you tell them how much you want. They print it off. They send it to you. It's going to take you a month or more. It could take 6 weeks to get it. And that does not necessarily have to do with the shipping method. It has to do with the fact that they are printing it. This is not fabric they have laying around in stock in most cases. It is print on demand. So that's why it takes so long.
Yeah, and it depends on how many people are ahead of you, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it could take a while. However, like I said, if you want something absolutely one of a kind and unique and you've designed it, then this is where you go for that kind of thing. They do have a service too, whereas as a designer of fabric, and I have designed some fabrics, you can put it up so that other people can see it and can order it if they would like it as well. And you get a commission on that. I have no idea how much you make. I don't think it's very much. And to date, although mine are all available, I've not sold any for it all. And I did that in my early beginnings of my quilting journey here. And yeah, I don't blame them for not wanting it. I've made some things out of my own fabric, and I'm quite happy with them. But I was happy with the quality of the cotton that I got from them. It's just, you're not getting it tomorrow. You just have to be patient with them. So that's our little review of a few American companies. And the whole point of talking about this was to tell you why it is much more complicated for us to order fabric from the United States, what costs are incurred in it beyond the fact that you've got the dollar exchange. So the bottom line is, if you're Canadian, check out your Canadian stores first, because then you don't have to go through paying duty. You'll have to pay tax, but you know, that's the way of life in our country, isn't it? We pay tax on everything. And there could be, depending on the method of shipping, if it goes from Canadian Post, well, you never know with Canada Post. One day it can be very fast. Other days they just sit on it for a while and admire it before they decide to send it out to you.
I mean, if it was a really good price or something like that, you might be able to calculate it and figure that, or something that you can't get here very readily. It might be worth it for you to buy it.
Well, that was what I was going to say, is if you can't get it in Canada, if you can only get it through the States, then you've got to figure out, is it worth the cost and the wait time for you to get that? You just don't, at least for me, I don't just willy-nilly go, oh yeah, I'm going to order it. I saw it in the States and I'm going to get it. I look for several things. If I order from the States, I look at who the company is, what their reputation is, how much they're going to charge me for shipping. I try to find out if there's any duty involved, because sometimes there isn't, and sometimes there is. And what method of shipping? Is it coming through USPS, or is it coming by a courier system and that? So those are all factors. And I can tell you this, most of the time, I don't order from the States, because it's not something that I feel that strongly that I have to have that, and I will pay any price and wait any length of time for it. What were you going to say?
No, I was sort of saying, like, if you're, like, I ordered the pre-cuts and that, and I did check the Canadian stores, a lot of the Canadian stores first, but I was very disappointed as to what selection I had for pre-cuts. So that's the only reason I ordered from the U.S. And especially for quilting cotton, maybe for pre-cuts. But if you're looking for yardage, right?
Yeah.
There isn't really an advantage to you to buy from the U.S. for yardage because most of those fabrics are available in Canada at Canadian prices. And but I have purchased apparel clothing from the U.S. only because it's often different types of apparel products are difficult to find in Canada. So it's easier to go to, especially if I'm in a rush for something, it's easier to go to a store like Fabric.com or Mood Fabrics and have a look at what they have available because I may be able to find something a little nicer than what I can buy up in Canada. So.
Yeah. So anyways, that's our little review of some of the major contenders on the online for buying, and we're looking at it strictly from a point of view of as Canadian consumers with it. So I hope you got something out of that. The links to all of the places we've talked about today are in the show notes below if you want to check them out for yourself, if you have never heard of some of these. And I don't know, I think most of them probably you've all heard about. Maybe one or two you didn't.
Well, if you're a quilter, you may not have heard Mood Fabric.
No, that's true. You may not have heard of that. But anyway, so that was what was on the agenda this week. And like I said, it's New Year's Eve. And I hope you have a good and safe New Year's Eve. And yeah, next time you see us, it's going to be 2022. Let's hope that's a nicer year. So go out, do something creative this week, and we'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.
Bye, all.